Do you need ND filters for the DJI FLIP? Well, in today's video, you're going to find out. Hi everyone, hope you're all tickety-boo. Now, if you're passionate about drone videography or even photography and you own one of these little beauties, then in today's video we're going to have a look at ND filters. And even if this is the first drone you've ever owned, you've probably heard about ND filters, but maybe wondering what they do. And today we're going to take a deep dive into the new ones from Freewell. They've got two different sorts, and see how they can transform your aerial shots into cinematic masterpieces. So let's get started. First off, what do ND filters actually do? Well, ND stands for neutral density. At the end of the day, what they do is allow you to get the correct exposure and shutter speed on your camera, so you get that lovely motion blur when you're out and about getting those cinematic shots in bright conditions. At the end of the day, think of them a bit like sunglasses for your camera. At the end of the day, they allow that exposure to be correct as well as getting your shutter speed correct, because if you want to get that lovely motion blur and make your footage look a bit cinematic or even natural looking rather than jerky, what you need to do is have your shutter speed set at double your frame rate. So if you're running at 25 FPS, pretty simple, you need your shutter speed to be at 50, and if you're at 30 FPS, you need it to be at 60, and if you're at 60, you need it to be 120. The problem with that though, as you can see here, if you've got the settings correct, i.e. the shutter speed at 50 when you've got the FPS at 25, look how overexposed it is. And then all your shots, all the highlights are going to be really blown out. Even if you try and edit it in Premiere Pro or something like that, you're never going to get them back. So if you set your shutter speed correctly like this, so your exposure's correct, then what you're going to have is a shutter speed of 1/1250. And if you look at the difference here, you're not going to get that motion blur that you're supposed to get to make your footage look natural. And you'll end up with it almost like a still shot in a photo. And this is even on a cloudy day like this footage. And if you look at this one here, it's with the ND filter on, and as you can see, it's slightly blown out up in the top bits of the cloud there. This is with an ND32 on, the shutter speed's set correctly, and then you get this lovely motion blur just like this. Now, some people think that it affects the color on it and things like that. Personally, I haven't noticed it that much myself, and to be honest with you, I think it actually enhances the saturation on there and you get better quality color on there. And what we'll do is share some footage with you in a minute so you can compare it yourselves. Now, do you really need ND filters? Well, if you're that sort of person who's just going to throw it in the bag and throw it up every now and then to get a little photo or a shot of the scenery and things like that, then you're probably not going to need them. And in fact, you're probably not going to want to faff around with them, are you? But if you're like me and you want to get the best footage you possibly can, then yes, you're definitely going to need them on here because it's set at f1.7. There's reasons for that, of course. It's a cheaper drone, so they're not going to have all the bells and whistles of those big expensive ones and like my Air 3S and my Mavic 3 Pro and things like that. But it also means that it's still going to be good at night time, and you get some quality photos with it just like this without using the ND filters, of course. And after we've shared the video footage, we'll do a quick color test with it with a color checker, okay? So then you can make your own mind up whether or not you think the Freewell ones are any good. And in another video that we'll do, a very quick one, it will be comparing them against the DJI ones, which I've got as well, so we can compare both of them and then you can decide whether or not you want them. And the other benefit with the Freewell ones, which will show you some footage of that as well, is if you fly over water, which I do a lot of, or lots of shiny subjects and things like that, you're going to need the ones with the polarizers on there. And we've actually got both of them here. We got the normal ones and the polarizers, so we'll share some footage of that as well and see whether or not it does make a difference to the type of footage you're going to take. Me personally, I like to have both of them in the bag just in case, but the majority of the time I leave the polarizer ones on there. So let's quickly unbox one set of them so you can see what you get in there. The packaging, as you can tell here, they've changed it slightly. It used to have a clear top on there with magnets on it and things like that, like this. It's now gone to this nice, sleek, compact case, very similar to the DJI ones. However, inside here, what you end up with is the ND8, the ND16, the ND32, the ND64, and a 128, in case you want to take some of those long exposure ones, plus a normal polarizer, and that's in that pack. In the other pack itself, which they call a bright day pack, in there, same box again, but what you get in here, and all of them are polarized, is the ND8, the ND16, the ND32, the 64, then you get a nice big stopper of an ND1000, and that's really going to help those long exposure ones, isn't it? And again, on top of it, you get a normal UV one. Remembering, of course, the standard polarizer one is in the normal pack, and that's there if you just want to use it for taking photos over water and things like that. And as for fitting them, they're pretty simple. You just click them in the front here, okay? And then for removing them, all you need to do is squeeze these 2 little levers on the side and they pop straight out. Now, let's get out in the field then and give it a good old test. We'll be down in the field, as you saw some of the footage earlier on, and that's when it's cloudy and things like that. We'll have some low down flying because that's when you really tend to need them, because that's when the motion blur comes into its own, isn't it? When you're up high, you probably don't need them again then. And then we're going to go down the beach so we can try out the polarizer ones and different things like that. And then, like I said, at the end of the video, we'll do a quick color test with them with a color checker. Let's get on with it.
There's a fire out, washed by the water. I've been baptized. Out of the ashes I'm rising like a phoenix. If you try to hold me back, you better believe that I'm catching on fire. My voice is gasoline. I'm catching on fire like you never seen. I'm catching on fire. My voice is gasoline. I'm catching on fire like you never seen. I'm catching on fire. My voice is gasoline. I'm catching on fire like you never seen. I'm catching on fire. My voice is gasoline. I'm catching on fire like you never seen. I'm catching on fire. My voice is gasoline. I'm catching on fire like you never seen. I'm catching on fire. My voice is gasoline. I'm catching on fire like you never seen.
There you go. What do you think? Personally, I like using them all the time. Whenever I'm out and about, they're always in my bag, or they're actually 9 times out of 10 always on the drones. But at the end of the day, if you don't want them, then that's down to you, isn't it? But if you're that sort of person, like I said, it's just going to throw it up in the air quickly and just do things like that, then you're probably not going to need them. Plus, you don't want to faff around with them, do you? And I'm not saying you're going to get perfect footage every time, because once you've got it up there, say with an ND32 on it, and the sun comes out a bit brighter and you think, oh, I wish I had a 64 on it, you're not going to bring it back when it's halfway down the beach, are you? But then you have got the ability, haven't you, to adjust the exposure slightly in Premiere Pro and things like that, and you probably will be able to gain back those highlights if it's just a slight difference. But like I said earlier on, as you can see back here on this one, just to remind you, yeah, when it's blown out like this, you're never going to regain those highlights. As for the colour shift and things like that, here we go, let's have a look at them. This shot here is taken with no ND filters on whatsoever, okay? And then on here, we've got the ND8 standard one, right? And we'll compare them next to each other in a second. And then on this one, it's the ND8 with a polarizer. And here they are all next to each other. As you can see, there's very, very little colour shift in there, isn't there? And like I said, if you really want to tweak things when you're in Premiere Pro and things like that, you can get on with the old colour grading. But the main thing is that you haven't got that exposure ruined, and then you can regain all those highlights and things like that. And at the end of the day, that's what you want when you're flying a drone, don't you? You don't want it all blown out and looking a bit wishy-washy and things like that. But there you go. Like I said, I'm going to test them against the DJI ones as well. And if you've got any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll always get back to you. But at the end of the day, these Freewell filters, they are pretty good. They're a bit of a game changer in my view, and they help whether you're a hobbyist or a professional get even better footage. If you've liked this, or if you found it helpful in any way, shape or form, give it the old thumbs up, because it's done half to help the channel out. And why not, while you're at it, hit the old subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future videos. That's it for today, everybody. Stay safe out there, have fun making stuff, and above all, keep smiling. See ya.